welcome to our lecture video on structured data types, where we're going to discuss categorical versus numerical data categories. So first, we're going to discuss different data types. First and foremost, we're going to talk about categorical data types. These are usually words, and we can categorize this type of data whether we're looking at people or gender or transactions, if we're looking at sales or returns or invoices. So that is what we are trying to do with the categorical nature. Then in numerical nature, this is where more finance and accounting lie, where we're looking at numbers. We're looking at transaction amounts, possibly net income, adjusted gross income, possibly age, maybe scores on an exam or scores in a class. So when we're looking at categorical data, we want to discuss nominal data. So basically, we're trying to take categorical data that we really can't rank it. So you're either your gender, male or female, your transaction type, sale or return, the location of the sale, Northeast, Midwest, and we want to try to summarize that by either counting or grouping the data or possibly by a proportion. So here you see an analysis of categorical data where we're looking at online or in-person type of transactions. Then when we look at ordinal data, we are trying to do categorical data, and this kind of gives us the ability to rank and sort. So we might think of the Olympics as gold, silver, and bronze, or maybe survey answers where we're using a Likert scale. We agree, we disagree, or we strongly agree or strongly disagree, or we're looking at transaction dates. Here we do want to summarize this data as well. Similarly, by counting or grouping, we can also use proportions, and then we can also include the ranking as well, because we can rank ordinal data. That's the key differentiator. Then we have numerical data, where we have interval data or ratio data. So when we're talking from an interval data perspective, we're looking at the distance or the interval between each observation. So we're not summing them because the data doesn't really make sense, right? We can't sum temperatures, we can't sum SAT scores. We can still summarize this information by either counting or grouping. We can also use proportions. Obviously, we can add them or sum them. We can take averages. So interval data provides a lot of ways in which we can summarize it. Whereas ratio data, we're looking again at numerical data, but we're looking at this data that has equal and a definitive ratio. There's usually a data point, and then there is a zero or an absence of a zero in ratio data. So we can look at height, we can look at weight. A lot of accounting figures that we use might incorporate ratio data. We can look at sales, net income, depreciation expense. We can also look at the temperature scale. So here we have an example of Tide Pods, and we're looking at the different data points. So this is coming from Amazon, one of my favorite places. So Tide Pods here, and then here we see categorical data where we have the product name, and then we have the ranking of the stars and the customer reviews, and that gives us our average, right? So here we have an average of the ranking. Then we have a flag, so this is categorical yes or no, or we can think of it as a dummy variable, exists or doesn't exist, as to whether it's a prime object or not. Then we also have an in stock, and this could also be categorical as well. So we can have this yes, there is in stock, or we can also use it as a numerical field telling us how many or a quantity that's in stock. And then we have the price, which is a numerical data point as well. Thanks for watching.